Pawleys Island community shocked that someone would commit an armed robbery in an ice cream parlor. ABC 15's Jenna Horry spoke with the worker who was threatened there, and she joins us now live outside Paradice Ice Cream in Pawleys Island. So what did that worker say, Jenna?
Connor, the employee's name is Anna. Now, she didn't want her last name used and she didn't want to be on camera. She did, however, tell me what she experienced last night. And she says in her 12 years working here, she's never experienced something like this before. But now she's going to carry pepper spray with her everywhere. Paradice Ice Cream has been a staple in the Pawleys Island community since 2009. Today, it's closed for an active investigation after the shop was the scene of an armed robbery last night. Anna is still shaken up after being threatened with scissors and forced to open the cash register. She says she's never had an encounter like this before, but she's happy she had pepper spray in her purse. Community members I spoke with say they're baffled an armed robbery happened in an area like Pawleys Island.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It's been here for so long that you just take for granted, especially coming into an ice cream shop, that, you wouldn't expect that would be robbed.
That resident says you just never know what to expect nowadays. The ice cream shop is so loved that a regular customer stopped by the shop to check on the workers when he heard what happened. Now, Anna says there's a few young teens who also work at Paradice Ice Cream Shop, and she's glad that they weren't on the clock when this incident occurred.
This is a bill from State Senator Bryan Adams. The Republican represents portions of Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties. He believes action needs to be taken to protect students, even if that means arming certain school employees. But one Democrat I spoke with says allowing weapons on school property could lead to other dangerous scenarios. With gun violence and school shootings happening around the country, the topic of discussion is how to keep students safe. Senator Bryan Adams says schools need another layer of security.
I'm allowing the school districts within my bill to say whether or not they want the schools to give them the opportunity to be armed. So I'm going to leave it up to the school districts.
The pre-filed bill, the Schools Guardian Act, would allow school boards to designate certain employees as school guardians to carry a weapon in case of an active shooter. Senator Adams says not just everyone will be handed a gun.
It isn't everybody. The teachers or the staff, the personnel at the school have to be approved through the school board and that. So it's not like everybody can come in and say, okay, I want to be armed. It has to be somebody that everybody feels comfortable with, that goes through their interview process.
But Representative Wendell Gilliard believes employees should stick to their assigned jobs.
Those educators are put in these schools to educate our children. Okay, we shouldn't turn them into military people, security people. That's not their responsibility.
Gilliard would prefer to see metal detectors instead. Senator Adams says that option creates a false sense of security.
I just don't want us to get in the mindset of saying, well, we got metal detectors, so there's no guns on the property. That's not 100% sure.
Gilliard worries arming employees sends the wrong message.
Put the weapons in these teachers' hands, it would be chaos.
Overall, the main priority is finding ways to keep the students and the school community safe.
Our young people have got to be brought up to understand how important it is to grow up in a society where we're able to engage one another without violence.
A 19-year-old from that area is living in Horry County with his sister. From avoiding Russian missile strikes to learning a different language in a foreign country, it has certainly been difficult adjusting to a new life.
ABC 15's Jenna Horry spoke with the family today about 19-year-old Arkadi's journey to safety. Jenna?
Connor, Arkady tells me all of the traveling to get to America was the easiest part of the process. He says the hardest part was the 12 to 15 days he lived in a basement in Kharkiv, trying his best to survive and not be the next target of a Russian airstrike.
Зачем я это делаю, и заканчивая то, что вот я все-таки снова.
This is 19-year-old Arkady Kodu, a Ukrainian citizen whose life was normal before February 24th, 2022, the day Russia invaded Ukraine. He's still working on his English, so his sister translated for him. He's originally from the Luhansk region of Ukraine, just 40 minutes from the Russian border. Before the war, he moved to Kharkiv to attend college and had dreams of going to dental school. Even before Russia officially attacked, he knew something wasn't right.
You can feel it in the air. You can see that something was happening on the border with Russia, and like you can hear probably at some point, because Kharkiv also really close or right on the border with Russia.
His intuition guided him to safety, where he ended up seeking refuge from Russian missiles in Kharkiv.
When everything started, being stuck for 12 or 15 days in the basement, that would hearing the noise what's happening outside, like bombs dropping in town, and then not knowing what's going on, not even going out, not knowing what's going to happen next.
Stress and fear overtook his body as the thought of evacuating his home country was now a reality, leaving everything behind, including loads of dirty laundry he still had to do. He grabbed a backpack and his cousin guided him to safety.
He guided him to the border of Ukraine and Moldova, and then he crossed the border to Moldova, and then he traveled for 4 days until he got to Lithuania.
Arkady has now been living in Horry County since the beginning of summer. He says he would like to go back home one day, but he's not sure what would be left there for him.
Even though Ukraine right now under attack and in war, Ukraine as a country is showing whole world the power of people, and it's still growing, it's still going.